We are continuing to follow breaking news right now. A female NOPD officer is recovering after she was dragged by a vehicle in the Lower Garden District.
Now, multiple sources tell WDSU that officer is Rachel Wiley, who was in NOPD training academy back in 2016.
This all happened after the officer administered Narcan to the suspect who was having an overdose. We're told that the suspect pulled off, dragging the officer before she shot and killed him.
Now, WDSU continues to have team coverage for you this afternoon. We're starting things off with Shay O'Connor and what witnesses there had to say. Shay.
Brandy, the scene is actually now clear here near the Walmart Tchoupitoulas. When it comes to the scene, there was some cars behind me not too long ago. They've since left the scene. Also, there were several streets blocked off, but as you can see, things are now clear. Earlier, a lot of investigations taking place. Now, right before 11 a.m., that's when we're told that officer who was doing a detail at the Walmart was alerted that there was a man inside of a car in the parking lot overdosing. Now, the officer, we're told, went out to administer Narcan to the man. Officers say the man regained consciousness but began to act erratically. We're told the man pulled off with the officer still partially in the car, driving down Russo Street. We're told the man hit an innocent bystander in other cars. One witness says she saw those scary moments unfolding in her truck. Here at the officer actually was being dragged down the street.
This person body went against my truck, and then I lost sight of her as the car kept moving down the street. So I was able to make sure that I was at a standstill, and that was a good thing. I wasn't moving, and it's just that my more concern was not about myself, but was she okay? And I'm just so thankful that she's okay.
Now, we're told that one officer actually did fire at least one shot at the suspect. Officers pretty much say that they administered life-saving procedures to help him. He died from that gunshot wound at a hospital. We're going to send things over to my co-worker, Cassie Sherm, who's live at UMC.
Okay, so I now have information here at UMC for the woman who was struck by the suspect's vehicle. She was just in the parking lot. We're being told she was hit in the leg by the car. Now, we don't know the severity of the officer who was dragged out. That's Cassie Sherm. As the drug epidemic is really rising here across Southeast Louisiana, specifically New Orleans, the Police and Justice Foundation says there are many types of situations that officers are being put in with more fentanyl being introduced to the drugs. They say that every incident is different, but when it comes to administering life-saving Narcan, it can sometimes be unpredictable, even dangerous for those involved.
That person is going to suddenly have a jolt. And then once they're jolted, then there's a flow of energy and adrenaline, and you have to, hopefully, you're in a position where you can keep that person under control, and you can make them understand that you're there to help them, but that's not always going to happen. And that is a chance that the officers take when they administer Narcan to any subject that's overdosing.
Now, both the health department and also the coroner's office say that drug-related deaths are still climbing here in New Orleans. In 2023, there were roughly 500 drug-related deaths. And according to the coroner's office, more than 80 of them tested positive for fentanyl. I know one of the things that we were talking about earlier, too, was some of these officers could be prone to getting stuck with a needle when they're dealing with some of the drug cases. So that Narcan could also be for them as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. As much exposure as they have to drugs when they're in the field.
And right now, New Orleans police, the top brass, backing that officer's decision to take action to save her own life.
Yeah, they say the simplest of assignments can quickly turn into a deadly situation.
Eric Hessler with the Police Association of New Orleans weighs in.
Well, she's certainly a veteran. She's certainly well trained, and it appears that in this instance, her training paid off. And unfortunately, she was in the midst of exercising her training to save a life, and then this kind of shows how quickly that those missions can change based on other people's behavior.
And we will have much more on this developing story coming up on WDSU News at 5. But you can read more right now on WDSU.com or our free WDSU